This is my new 2014 Triumph Street Triple R ABS, and I've only ridden it twice, but when I did ride it I found that the brake pedal for the rear brake, which is over here, is too high. As I'm riding it, I slide my foot across to put my foot on the brake, and I keep missing it. Now, I know there's been a lot of people asking about, can they adjust the brake lever, brake pedal on these bikes? So I had a look around the forums, and no one's really done a video or shown how to practically do it in case you're a novice. So I thought I would. So this is my first go at it. So what I think I need to do, and looking at some advice from other people who've tried to do it, is that brake lever, brake pedal, I need to adjust that nut in there, but inside there is a pin that holds the bottom of that bolt on. And also, when you press that down on there, there's some springs. Just under the pedal there you go, those two springs. The right hand spring is attached to the brake, which will light up the brake, and if you lower the pedal, that spring will pull down and turn the brake on, and maybe permanently on, so there'll need to be an adjustment on the control for that as well. So what tools do you need to do this job on the Street Triple? Well, I used this Halford's Advanced socket set that Ian Judd recommended from South Shields. Brilliant, Ian. So 12 and 13mm spanners, there you go, use them. A couple of sets of pliers to help with the springs to get them off. Some of these star drivers, and a 12mm socket with wrench. That's all you need. So I've decided, first of all, I'm going to take this off to make it easier to get to. This kick plate is just in the way. There we go. I've loosened the kick plate and spun it up so I can actually get right in here. Now in here, as you can see, or you should hopefully can see, the bottom here, I've got to adjust this. So as you can see, I've taken the pin off from inside on the end of this bit that holds this onto there. And what does it look like? Just so we're clear, it's a pin. It's like this basically. This slides on, but to get it off, I had to lift one end, to lift this side, and then slide. So after removing the kick plate and undoing the pin at the bottom here, I still can't get the bolt through there, because if I could pull that bolt out, I could loosen that, twist that up tighter, and then that would lower the brake pedal. So what I'm having to do is unscrew this, and that, so I can then move that and get behind it. Right, so here we are, halfway through the job, and what I've found is I've had to undo those nuts, bolts that I said, and then I've had to get in here, and I've had to take this off. So it's quite easy. Once you undo those, that's all quite loose. But I've had to then get a ratchet or socket set round the back here so I can undo this, because this bolt won't push through there or come out when it's undone. So I've got to take this whole thing off, adjust it, and then put it back together. I've also had a look at the switch, the brake switch, which is back here. So I've taken the springs off of there, and what I will be doing is adjusting that as well so it's lower. Let's see how we get on. So I've now adjusted this nut. That is quite tight. I've adjusted it higher, and then I've twisted that 8 turns to make it shorter. So that will go up, which means the brake lever will go down. Also, while I've got this off, I've now held that there and twisted that in. So that's just a cable that turns the brake light on and off, and I've twisted that in so that's lower as well. So hopefully the brake light won't stay on. So now it's put it back together, see if it's low enough. So here we are again. I've got it all back together. I think the most difficult part really wasn't pulling it all apart, was getting the pin out from down there and putting it back in. Now the problem with putting it back in is I've twisted that round 7 times to make it shorter, and I've actually found that you can only push the bolt through one from one side. So I twisted it round and then it went through, but it took me about 3 or 4 minutes to work that out. The other thing I've noticed now is that this spring is the spring that connects under there, so that's the spring that holds the foot pedal up tight. This is the other spring for the brake light. It's still too short, so I'm either going to have to stretch it or buy a new spring. Right, here we go. That spring, I just measured it. It was just over 5.5 centimetres long. This one on the right here. I've now I've straightened out one of the ends and then re-bent it over to make it just over 6 centimetres long, and I've put it on. And now, when I turn on the bike, as you can see, the rear light's on. Press the pedal, brake light comes on. Job's a good 'un.